One of the things the humble journalist has done are these people that ask too many questions, let's say. Last night I was questioned by a guy that wanted to find out where I was on a daily basis, basically. He was at the library. So a humble journalist just went ahead and told him, I come into this library every day. Well, that's not true. I go to the library occasionally, and sometimes I have a cigarette out in front. But these people that want to pump the humble journalist for information, I'm going to lie to them. I'm going to tell them all kinds of stuff, and none of it's going to be consistent. So these people that think that they're getting useful information from me, I'm going to make up stuff, and that even goes for my name. I see it coming all the time. I understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, trying to establish location and identity. And so if this guy wants to say that, establish that I'm at that library every day, well, there's 3 cops that saw me at a different location yesterday. And so I wasn't at that library until later in the day when I went to go see a movie. And that's what you guys are going to get. You want to pump me for information? You'll get information, but it's all going to be bogus. And it has been for some time. So you can get contradictory information with your own logbooks when you try to ID my location and my identity, of course. It'll be inconsistent with these people that you run at me to pump me for information. One thing I know for sure, the same person can't be at the same location at the same time. So that's what they're going to get from now on. They're going to have to cook their own books, and my location is going to be established at 3 or 4 different places, during the course of a day. If you guys want to ask me or send people to ask me questions about my identity, my location, and I'll just start making up birth dates and numbers and phone numbers and everything else, as necessary to screw up your logbooks. So the easiest explanation is what big-time law enforcement wants to say is, hey, look, Your Honor, look at all these people that are talking about illegal things in proximity to this guy. Look, Your Honor, look how many known criminals and drug dealers and whatever walk up to him and want to shake hands with him, even though he doesn't know him. They don't tell the judge that. Look, Your Honor, how many people exit establishments waving, plastic bags, that look like they're carrying something illegal, and then walk down the street and hand it over to big-time law enforcement, and then just say that, make a false affidavit about me. Look, Your Honor, about all the people that all this guy does is go from one place to another, not explaining, what the circumstances are, and that they're stealing my paychecks. And why I have to do my typing at a coffee place or any place I can find, with an electrical outlet. Look, Your Honor, how many times we've observed this guy and all this supporting evidence that is all cooked up that we have in this file from the feds who cooked it up in the first place, leaving the humble journalist with no recourse whatsoever to have that information removed. It's perpetual. Look, Your Honor, how many places this guy stops during the day and what kind of people he associates with, even though the humble journalist doesn't know any of them, that's what they're trying to pull. And I can't stop people that walk in or sit next to me or run over and make a cell phone call, people from different countries. But I can watch some of the clowns that are doing this, though. I'll go ahead and offer an opinion on the legal aspects of this, though. Separate from the Patriot Act, big-time law enforcement can get a court order to track cell phone calls around my location. Once my location's been identified, they can do that with my voice. So when I start talking, that means that legally they can use the court order to get the phone calls, whatever's said on those phone calls in my proximity. So when I talk or I get online or anything like that, make a phone call, otherwise identify myself and my location, then anybody that comes along, they can use the cell phone calls that those people make and whatever they do to try to incriminate me. So that's what the game that's been being played here. At least that's what I suspect, is that they've got a court order to investigate without a search warrant, because getting a search warrant would be foolish. All it would do is prove that their investigation is bullshit, because all I'm carrying around is clothes and I'm not doing anything illegal. But that's what the portrayals are about. They wanted to go con a judge into issuing an investigative warrant, which includes cell phone calls. So what the objective is, the game that's being played is ID me in my location and then have as many people get in my proximity to make these cell phone calls as possible. And that means that it's not hard to figure out what these people are talking about when they're making those cell phone calls. It sounds like illegal activity, is my suspicion. And then they in turn take that evidence that was all contrived, staged, orchestrated by them, and they say, see, this is evidence that we got legally through this court order. IDing his location, his the time and his identity, and then people rush up to me, make a cell phone call, or get in my proximity and then run off and with their backpacks or their grocery bags, and then they tell big-time law enforcement that something illegal happened. So the key to it is a court order, which is legal, I expect. The rest of it's bullshit, say. And also an indication that the investigation, as it were, will never end. It's 17 months, it'll just keep going and going and going, because one agency, law enforcement agency after another, will just keep lined up, and they'll just keep investigating, try to get whatever court orders they can to support, and they'll just keep cooking up stuff and then putting that into the record, and it will in turn get passed on to other law enforcement agencies. And in that information is a lot of bogus things that they know were altered, falsified, and intentionally falsified for the purpose of propagating and disseminating to other agencies so they can use that. Over time, then it makes a humble journalist look like a really bad guy, and there's no way to sue him and say that, hey, all this information you're putting out and passing along to other law enforcement agencies is all bogus. It all started with the same bogus complaint and self-written warrant that originated with the Patriot Act, self-written warrant. The judge has never seen this, but now they got enough bullshit, you know, in their files, so they can go to a judge and say, hey, look at all this. They don't tell the judge it's all bullshit, and they're not going to tell the judge that all these people making cell phone calls in my proximity were put up to it, and that it's all a deliberate act of incrimination, and another attempted malicious prosecution. But the judge doesn't know that now. That's my objective, is to explain this to anybody that'll listen, including a judicial. This before, and it's worth repeating. You people out there, especially in the newspaper business, anybody who's dumb enough to believe this stuff, remember, they could pull this on you too. Okay, they come to you and they got this big old fat file of crap, and you swallow it hook, line, and sinker. Then you're just a participant, because they can do it to anybody. Start out with nothing, think the guy's not doing anything illegal, build a big mountain of false complaints, false affidavits, alterations of every variety, and then keep spreading it, until pretty soon, I've seen some of these employers, you know, they take a look, oh my God, look at this, contrived.